You know where the Tilman community was?
Yeah.
I was born a mile from the Tilman community. I draw a picture here. You come from Advance. We were five and a half miles from Advance, and we could go the old gravel road, country road, or we could come down 25 to where the Bullinger farm was, and then we'd make a left, then we'd go left about 2 miles, and then turn right again, and we could come to our place. Well, here's Tilman. When you get off 25, you go in here, and you turn right here. Well, here's the Tilman community. All of this is church.
Yeah, church is still there.
Yeah, we used to have, well, I'll get to that later, but, and then we've got a big cemetery there.
Right.
Well, a friend of mine I went to school with donated that ground for the addition, Ralph Owens. Remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, Ralph was a little bit older than I was, but his sister Mildred, we used to be competition all the time. Well, we would have a Friday evening, you know, it'd be a spelling match or adding match. And for years, two, 3, 4 years, Mildred and I was the last two standing up. Mm-hmm. We had a system on multiplication by 12. I wish I could remember how I did it, or how we both did it. We didn't have to multiply 2 and then add 1 to it. We just see the answer and we just write it right out. And we was always the last two. I asked her and she couldn't remember how we did it. Jim Miller, Clark Miller, remember that?
Yeah.
Jim was my teacher. Well, Clark was
She
my
married
teacher
a Lockhart girl.
That I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know the love life or anything. but they would walk. Jim talked first, and then Clark, and they would walk from Tilman. They lived in Tilman, and walked over to this Clolinger school, which must have been about at least 3.5, 4 miles, and taught school. And hey, Clark was my teacher for I forget how many years, 2 or 3 years or something.
What school did you go to?
Clolinger.
Colin, okay.
Possum Ridge. We had Herman, Lois, and Harold.
Yeah.
Well, Harold's a year younger, I think, than I was. But anyway, this little old schoolhouse that we was in just had a crawl space underneath. Didn't have no basement, nothing. And the door spot, the window places, they had places for windows, but they didn't have any windows in them. And Harold Atkins got in trouble in school or something one time, and Clark wasn't disciplined, you know. Harold went out the door, and he come around and he crawled in one of the window spaces, and Clark was down there. Harold threw dirt in his face. Well, that didn't sit right with either one of them, you know. So it wound up. And they walked home together.
Oh.
You know, as far as where Loggy lived, walked Harold's home. So on the way home, they was talking about this. Clark said, "Well," said Harold, "what are we going to do about this? Are we going to say something to your dad about this?" And he said, "Well, what do you want to do?" He said, "I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to forget that this ever happened." And he never did tell Harold's dad about it. Harold was pretty happy about that, I guess, you know. So that's what it was.
Oh, Clark was the teacher then.
Oh, Clark was the teacher.
Okay.
And another time, he always wore, you know, normally a suit and stuff, especially in chilly. But one time, his pants ripped in his back. He ripped his pants somehow. So he let his coat jacket hang down over the ribs so they couldn't see nothing. You know? He walked home that way to it. A lot of those kind of things happened. But never a dull moment. Raymond, Glenn was my age, and Raymond was a year younger, and, oh God, I can't think of the other two, but their dad, Charlie, he raised billy goats.
Oh,
And it wound up, we would have more damn fun. I tell you, talk about, I get so pissed off when the kids come here, I'm bored. Well, now, we never got bored. But the whole thing, his dad fixed him, built him little wheels, two-wheel carts, and made harness for those billy goats.
oh yeah, and he had a cart.
A little cart, right, you know. And it wound up, we'd go over there on a Sunday afternoon and just drive them billy goats all over the countryside.
Wear 'em out.
Yeah, but that was something. And Sim had some land, well, he come up, we had a road that run past our place, and our place went down 40 acres here and 80 acres here, and Sim was here. He had woods down there.
Down farther,
Yeah.
down a hill.
Yeah, and then there's another road come over here, and then he had another farm up here. And this was farming land, and up here he had a wooded area. I used to set rabbit traps up here in this. I got a hole in my side here. When I was 12 years old, I had pneumonia. I had pneumonia 3 times before I was 12 years old, and the last time almost got me. I had to come up here to the hospital. This is I was born in 22, so it's early 1934. And Dr. Firth, remember him? Dr. Firth, he was my doctor, and he had to take part of my rib out, put a tube in there 7 inches long, drain my lung. I had that in there for 21 days because I was only in the hospital there overnight. But they sent me on in that tip. They made a cross like, and this was 7 inches long, this was about 4 inches long, and they stuck that in it to drain my lung. 21 days that was in there. And I had been sick. I got sick on Christmas Eve. And this was up in March, probably end of March. I want to put this in here. And when I was able to get out of bed, my kid brother Albert, 2 years younger than I am, had to teach me how to walk again.